Hey guys, BSRC here, again with RC Nightmare. Video number 3 of our Rebuilding Your Nitro Engine tutorial. This video I'm going to show you how to clean all the internal parts of your carburetor and engine so you know that they're ready for installation. Now if the outside of your motor has a lot of gunk on it that's been caked on from heat and whatnot, make sure you clean that first. You want to take an old brush and some household degreaser to get that off. Ours is fairly clean, so I'm not going to be showing you how to make it look pretty. I will be showing you how to clean the inside and make sure that it runs well. So we're going to start with our piston and sleeve assembly. Have it here. These will have a lot of old oil and fuel on them. I like to use contact cleaner when I'm cleaning my motor. Now there are a lot of ways you can clean a motor. I prefer contact cleaner just because it's safe on almost anything. You can spray this on plastics, on your rubber seals, and it won't damage them. It doesn't leave a residue. So I like it because it's a little bit easier and safer to work with. Now if you have Nitro Clean, that'll work just as well. If you prefer something else, that's okay too. Just make sure that if you're using an aerosol cleaner, it's approved for plastics and rubbers. If it's not, you're going to have to remove all these orange seals and anything plastic before you spray it and clean it out. So again, contact cleaner, easy to use, quick way to do it. Simply take your piston and sleeve and just spray them down. All we're shooting for here is a nice clean metal. It should be nice and shiny, no old oil or residue left on it. Spray out the inside and the outside. Nice and clean. We're going to do the same thing here. Make sure you spray inside the bottom of the piston a little bit to clean out that joint. On the bottom end of our connecting rod, there is a small oiling hole. You can see it there, that you want to spray into as well. Make sure that's not clogged. I use the tip that comes with the Nitro Clean to get in there and just shoot it right into it. I can see it coming out the other side, so I know that it's nice and open, and that's good to go. Set that aside. Take a look at your seals. This guy here usually has a lot of gunk that gets in between the webbing, so give that a good spray. Spray out the inside of it, getting rid of all the old oil. This is where the contact cleaner comes in handy. I can spray it right on this rubber seal without any worries. Do the same thing to the high-speed needle. Gets rid of all the old residue. And then anything where that fuel passes through. So our fuel inlet, I'm going to take the hose again, put it right up to it and spray it through. And see it coming out the other side. We know that's clean. The needle housing, spray it right in there. You'll see it come all the little holes. I know that's good to go. And then on the carburetor, just take any small hole you see, any passageway whatsoever, and give it a good spray. You should see the spray come out the other end then. And really there's no such thing as too clean, guys, so if you're not sure that you're doing it well, just give it a good long spray, inspect it. You know, the more time you take now, the less hassles you're going to have later. Our starting shaft, a little bit oily, spray it off. Nice and shiny. The back plate usually gets pretty dirty. This is exposed, so you get a lot of old nasty oil on here. Ours is fairly clean, but again, good spray down. Do the same thing on the inside. And we know she's perfectly clean, nice and shiny. On your crankshaft, you want to make sure that this hole here, this is the passageway where all the fuel comes into the motor, that there's no gunk stuck in there. So make sure you inspect that channel. Spray it out real well. On the outside too, nice and smooth, not sticky, no mess, perfect. Now the cooling head, we don't care too much about the outside. Again, if you got a little gunk and grime in there, clean it off with a brush. What I'm going to be focusing on is the mating surface. This gets bolted right to your crankcase. You know, make sure that there's no old burnt on oil here, otherwise you won't get a good seal. So again, check it. Ours is fairly clean. I see I got a little bit of burnt oil here on the edge, so give it a good spray. If it's not coming off, you can even use a little bit of paper towel. A little bit of elbow grease always helps. Just get in all the cracks, nooks and crannies, make sure that you hit every spot. And that looks real good. I feel it real smooth. I know I'll get a good seal with that. Okay, now the most important thing, the inside of the crankcase. Again, if it's dirty on the outside, clean that first and then move on to the inside. The key thing here are going to be the bearings. I'm going to use my nozzle on my spray can to get right on the bearing and spray it out. Get all the old oil out of there. And on the front bearing, I can reach a little bit deeper in here, get right on the front bearing. I know that's clean. Spray out the rest of the inside, the surface in here, get rid of all that old oil. Make sure that the metal's nice and shiny. You don't want any old rusty oil. If your motor's been sitting a while, you probably got a lot of corrosion and residue in there. So make sure, again, you get a nice shiny silver color all the way through. That looks good. I'm looking it over, making sure I didn't miss anything. It's nice and clean. This motor is ready for reassembly. In the next video, I will show you how to replace the bearings if they are bad in here.